The Fortified Construction Standard is updated on a periodic basis. The 2020 version was published in October 2020 and will be in effect for projects permitted on or after November 1st, 2021. IBHS has created the Summary of Changes document, which details all of the differences between the updated standard and the one currently in effect. This is available for download at fortifiedhome.org. In this series of short videos, we will highlight the biggest changes to the standard and offer some insight into why the changes were made.
Technical updates to the Fortified standards are made for three main reasons: building code changes and updates, IBHS research and testing conducted at our lab in Richburg, South Carolina, and post-disaster field observations, along with engineering and construction best practices. Throughout this video series, we will indicate which changes are code-driven, research-driven, or engineering and field observation-driven, with the blue book, green microscope, and orange boot icons shown. Some overall technical changes in the 2020 Fortified Home Standard are that minimum design requirements must correspond to no less than the pressures resulting from an ultimate wind speed of 130 miles per hour with exposure C. This applies to all components, including doors, windows, skylights, garage doors, soffits, roof covers, and sheathing. Additional overall technical updates in the 2020 Fortified Home Standard are to include specifications for ASCE 716. However, the ASCE 710 specifications are still there and still apply if the local code has not yet adopted ASCE 716. There will also be updates to compliance forms at all levels of the Fortified Home program, so stay tuned for more information on those to come. One overall update you will notice in the 2020 standard is the clarification and consolidation of acceptable testing methods and design report documentation in Section 2.
For silver designations, Section 2.7 now consolidates information regarding acceptable debris impact ratings, as well as testing documentation required for openings such as windows, doors, garage doors, and opening protection systems. Section 2.8.2 localizes information on acceptable design pressure ratings, as well as testing documentation required for openings such as windows, doors, garage doors, and opening protection systems. This localization of key information is intended to help improve usability and clarity for all Fortified users.
Garage door requirements have been updated to reflect the most recent IBHS testing of this critical building component. Garage door failures leading to major roof and other structural failures have been observed time and time again in post-disaster field investigations. As a result, IBHS has devoted previous and ongoing research to investigating the failures and identifying ways garage door openings can be strengthened and protected. In the 2020 standard, we put this research into action by requiring that garage doors must be design pressure rated to meet pressures corresponding to a minimum ultimate wind speed of 130 miles per hour with exposure C, and by introducing a level change. Now, garage door requirements are in the silver level for both hurricane and high wind levels. Along with these updates to garage door requirements, the tabulated minimum required design pressures for garage doors and other components have been updated for compliance with the most recent building codes to include pressures that's per ASCE 716. However, keep in mind that the ASCE 710 pressures are still there and still apply if the local code has not yet adopted ASCE 716. Refer to Table B 2.3 in the appendix for these minimum design pressure requirements. Another change you will notice in the silver level of the 2020 standard is that the minimum height of platform-framed gable ends requiring retrofit bracing has been updated to 3 feet. Previously, this height was 4 feet. Additionally, fortified prescriptive retrofit gable and bracing details have been removed from the body of the fortified standard. Options for retrofit gable and bracing construction are now available in building codes such as the International Residential Code and the Florida Building Code, among others. So retrofit gable and bracing may follow the locally adopted code requirements. To keep current with the current building codes and reference standards, gable and overhang requirements have also been updated in the 2020 standard. For ASCE 716, gable end overhangs over 9 inches long will require outlooker framing. However, keep in mind that for ASCE 710, this maximum length is still 12 inches. A new addition to facilitate gable and overhang construction is new Fortified Standard Detail FGE1, which provides updated prescriptive gable end outlooker framing and anchorage requirements. Also, to keep current with the current building codes, design pressure requirements for flexible soffit covers has been updated in the 2020 standard to provide ASCE 716 compliant pressures. However, the ASCE 710 pressures are still there and still apply if the local code has not yet adopted ASCE 716. Refer to Table B2.2 in the appendix for these minimum pressure requirements.
Another new addition to our Fortified Standard Detail library is Detail FS1, which provides soffit retrofit framing requirements for flexible soffit coverings with more than 12 inches between support members. There are no changes to these framing requirements, but the information is now available in the standard detail format.
In the 2020 standard, chimney framing and anchorage requirements are now located in the silver level for both high wind and hurricane levels. Previously in hurricane, chimney requirements were in the gold level. The final new addition to Fortified Standard Detail Library is Detail FCTD1, which provides chimney tie-down framing and anchorage requirements for wood-framed chimneys up to 5 feet tall that are located in the interior zone of the roof. There are no changes to these framing and anchorage requirements, but the information is now available in the handy standard detail format. For attached structures, the previous uplift worksheet has been replaced with a new porch and carport uplift calculator, available on the Fortified Home website in the Technical Resources section. This new tool is intended to make using this prescriptive option for attached structures on existing homes that are pursuing silver designations easier and more user-friendly. Keep in mind that this prescriptive option is limited to single-level attached structures that fit within the limitations of use that are noted in the calculator. Based on critical field observations, the 2020 standard has explicitly addressed the use of nail-only connections, such as toenailed connections, as an immediate disqualifier for fortified designations. This clarification is important, as nail-only connections have been consistently observed to be weak links in structures in post-disaster field damage assessments. Clarification for the requirement of multi-level attached structures, such as multi-level porches with middle floor levels, has also been provided. Thank you for spending some time with us today as we go over updates to Fortified Silver in the 2020 Fortified Home Standard. In future videos, we'll be covering technical updates in the gold level and what design professionals need to know. So please, stay tuned.